I'm going to put a link to a video in the description below, and I want you to go ahead and take a moment and pause this video and go down to that link and watch that video. Go ahead, I'll wait. Oh, hello there. Welcome back. So, what did you think? Kind of funny, huh? Did that look funny? I mean, hey, I can totally understand how that could be funny. Yeah, I get it, you know. Now, just one thing though. What I saw in that video was one person engaging in an act of violence, frankly, unprovoked, against another person. Fucking A, right on, man. Initiation of violence, yes. That's what we're all about here on this channel. Oh, wait a minute. No. Actually, that's not what we're all about here. We're against the initiation of violence here on this channel. But, I mean, so what? The little green-haired twerp wouldn't say the pledge. Right? He had it coming. Smack him upside the head. I mean, that he would have such disrespect for America, disrespect for his fellow classmates. They're up there, standing there. I mean, he deserved it, right? If you're going to refuse to participate in saying the Pledge of Allegiance, you deserve to get your chair knocked out from under you. Maybe even popped in the kisser once or twice, you know, for that disrespect. I mean, hey, you know, depending on who you are, maybe the punishment should be even more severe. I mean, yeah, why not just break his nose? You know, I mean, that'll show him, right? That'd be a great lesson, and I bet you he'd never show that level of disrespect by refusing to recite the Pledge of Allegiance ever again, right? Yeah, that's what I think too. Oh, no. Actually, not at all. You know what? If that had been me in that chair, and a classmate had come up and kicked my chair out from under me, you know what I would have done? I'd have picked that chair up, and I'd have swung it at his head. And I wouldn't have stopped swinging until that motherfucker was out cold, on the floor, prone, right? The fight would have been on. Now, let's examine this. There is a push for several things in our society that I'm sure is becoming more and more obvious to everyone, right? There's some pretty blatant racism against white people, right? There's some pretty blatant manipulation going on to pressure people to adapt to a certain ideology, right? Well, on the other side, there's some pretty blatant pressure going on to adapt to an undesirable ideology, that of, you know, supremacy, which implies ruling over another class, right? Not just being better than, but ruling over them. And that's just wrong. It's wrong, okay? It's morally reprehensible and unacceptable. Okay, yes, that is my opinion. I don't care if you don't share that opinion. That's my opinion. That it is wrong and morally unacceptable to rule over someone else, right? To put yourself in the position of their master is wrong. That's why this country was formed, so that individual liberties would blossom and flourish. In that video, do you think that that kid, that green-haired little twerp, had the choice of his individual liberty? No. He had it swiped right out from under him in a violent gesture by somebody who I imagine thinks of themselves as badass, right? Well, okay, patriot. Now, patriotism I got no issue with. Not here to discuss that. But you know what? I started refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance in 5th grade. I stopped doing it. And it wasn't a problem. Sure, I got questions. And sure, there were some concerned teachers. And I told them, look, you know what it means to recite a pledge, right? I don't just take that lightly. That is something that you should take very, very seriously. If you are standing up in public and saying, I pledge my allegiance, okay, to a flag, yes, and I understand what the flag represents, but in that pledge, do you think that the representations that are talked about are a reality in this country? Is there really liberty and justice for all in this country? No, I don't think so. Should we work towards that? Yes, obviously. But is standing there reciting a pledge going to do anything to work towards that? No. That's just me being a mindless robot and reciting something that somebody told me to recite. Okay? Except it has a lot more gravitas than that. You actually are making a pledge to ally yourself with an ideology when you say the Pledge of Allegiance. You're taking an oath. Do you realize that? I don't think the vast majority of people who recite the Pledge of Allegiance quite understand what they're engaging in when they do that. I did in 5th grade, which is why I stopped saying it, because I analyzed the pledge itself, and it decided that that wasn't me, that what was in the pledge was not a reality, and it obviously is not. Because if it really was liberty and justice for all, this kid would still be seated in his chair and everybody would be fine with him sitting out. Right? Right. So you tell me, do you think that that impudent little green-haired twerp would have gotten away with refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance under Hitler? How about under Stalin? Okay, Pol Pot then. No? How about Che Guevara? No, I don't think so. How about Mao Zedong? Yeah, would he have let that shit slide? No. All of those characters that I just mentioned would have taken you out back, maybe out of sight, or maybe in public, and just put a bullet in your head. Right? You know that's what those characters, those dictators, would have done. And so to have people applaud this young, violent patriot's actions demonstrates to me that their mindset is a little bit warped, just a little bit. They support the actions of Hitler, of Pol Pot, of Stalin, of Che Guevara, of Mao Zedong. They support the force employed by some of the most evil, malicious, twisted, megalomaniac tyrants and dictators on the planet. That's who they support. And if you applaud this young man's actions for laying the smack down on this impudent green-haired twerp that refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance, that's what you support too. Are you proud of yourself? You want a pat on the back? You want a golf clap? Hey, we're in America. We can force people to say the Pledge of Allegiance here, and it's A-OK, right? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, so just because I didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance or that I refuse to, oh, that must mean that I hate America, right? Uh-huh. I'm betting that that line of logic is going to pop up in the comment section down here, too. I'd love to see somebody weave that one together and have it make any sense. Well, if you have a thinking brain, if you're not riddled with pharmaceutical drugs, if you're not so caught up in being part of identitarian politics or identifying with your group that you forget your individuality, then, and if you're not that person, then you'll be able to recognize what's wrong with this video just like that. That is statist behavior. That is not acceptable, right? It's just not acceptable. I can tell you, I mean, if that shit had happened to me in grade school, I'm a little guy, but I love to fight. I used to love to fight. Not so much more in my older age, but hey, I'm sorry. That was just unacceptable and disrespectful on a level that I'm astonished that people are applauding and engaging in public schools. That's just, I'm sorry. That's just wrong. And if you have a thinking brain, you'll be able to see why it's wrong. So enjoy, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Have a great day.